because he said he didn't really address why I said what I said. He addressed the fact that I said I could kick his ass, him and consciously, and another panderer's ass at one. That's what he got pissed off at, and he had people trolling and mass reporting that account. And he now makes it a point to block me every given turn because to me it was I could I could smell a performative activist. I came from a family, an NOI family, and I've seen the shit in the black churches. So to me, that's what he was doing reincarnated.
I can
And
smell a pervert.
my biggest thing with him, my biggest thing
No,
is
I'm not even being, I'm
I
not
know.
even being funny here. Like, this is the thing. Like, I was abused so much in my childhood, sexually abused so much in my childhood that, like I said, even in that split second, I didn't want to find out what was next because I knew it was sexual. I knew
like my
whatever the
thing.
fuck he came in that bathroom for, it was sexual. I didn't want to find out nothing else. And the thing is I had this feeling about him, and I'm not even gonna say that I had a feeling that he was a sexual predator. But I knew something was off about this man before I even fucking met him. I knew it. I knew it.
I mean, my thing is how there's a saying you can't serve two masters. You can't be an activist, in my opinion, and talk about
Exactly.
and complain about sexual exploitation of men, women, and fetishization, but then also want to be a kinky content creator at the same time. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does.
Yeah, and it's not just him. It's Aunt Karen. They all do
I
that.
was just
They
about to
don't.
say that Aunt Karen was the first one I noticed and gave the side eye to because I'm thinking this woman like a whole activist, here for a community. Next thing I know, she's trying to sell sex toys on a
That's
church
why I
app.
looked at Angie sideways when we were in that Zoom, and she was like, "Oh, I can't be watching you and Tanya's content. Y'all are too sexy." And I'm just sitting here like, but my content specifically says sexy after SA. It ain't sexy for no. It ain't sexy like, oh, I want you to come and fucking ogle me. It's sexual assault victims reclaiming their sexuality. There's a specific reason. Like I said, even when I did my OnlyFans, I had a specific group of people I was targeting. Women that did not know how to connect with their sensuality, their sexuality, because of trauma.
What's the?
So
Well,
there's a difference. There is a fucking difference. And that's why I always felt like I speak. And I'm not going to say that what he said happened to him didn't happen. I can't call him a liar on that. You know what I'm saying? I do, because to me, it's more than likely to believe that he really was sexually assaulted. I mean,
you
I know the
said
world that we live in. I know the world that we live in. So I would never say that I Speak is not a victim of sexual assault. But I do believe that he exploits his sexual assault. And he does not give a fuck about
I
the
think he.
trauma that he went through.
You know what? I'm gonna say that he did from the on the outside surface, coming from the background, a rough background that he came from, to joining the military and all the other shit. To me, it's like he repackaged the Antoine Fisher story. To me, he's like an
Well,
activist
I
meets
mean,
Antoine Fisher.
this is the thing, and this is what made me so upset with Tanya. The fact is that a lot of our stories do sound alike. Like, you know, that's honestly what happens when you're sexually assaulted in your childhood. Like, a lot of these stories sound just alike because they are. So that's why I said I would never say that he was never a victim of sexual assault, because I'm inclined to believe, with the statistics that we live in America, that he really was a victim of sexual assault. But
And
here's
I
the
know,
thing. Some people take their trauma and they turn it into an excuse to victimize other people. And
like R.
other
Kelly.
people take their trauma and they use it as momentum, as motivation to be better. And there's a thin line between that. That's why I always say there's a thin line between predator and prey.
I
There's
mean,
always going to be a thin line when it comes to the spectrum of things. And I would never sit here and say that Ice Speak is not a victim, but he absolutely took that victimhood and turned it into prey. And that's honestly that's a sad thing about a lot of victims is that they
I
look at
think,
R. Kelly. Look at R. Kelly.
I mean, yeah.
Look at all
I
the
mean,
serial killers. If you even listen to all the serial killers that tell their stories, what's the first thing they talk about? Being sexually
Sexually
molested,
assaulted. Hmm.
being
I don't know.
abused as children.
I don't know. Dahmer was a different case.
Dahmer
Dahmer
was a different case, but that's just
and
Dahmer.
Ted
But if you
Bundy.
look
I
back,
don't.
William Gates, all of these people, most of these people were sexually assaulted or abused in some type of way when they were children. And
Or maybe
that's why I say most predators are the prey that we must, because like I said, the
because when
most
you don't,
valuable thing to a human being is attention. From the
I
moment they're
like.
born, the most valuable thing to a human being is attention. And we live in a society that deprives the majority of us of attention. That's why we're so desperate to get it. That's why we'll do anything to get it.
I think it's the equal amount of attention. Realistically speaking, not everybody can be rich, and not everybody can be famous. So when you got people
Of
that come
attention
online,
I'm talking about though, baby. That ain't the type I'm talking about and I said this earlier. I don't know if you were in here earlier. From the moment a baby is born, a baby wants attention. This is why we have skin to skin contact between a baby, an infant, and a newborn and a mother.
you said
Because
this last
really
night.
they cannot detach. Was that last night or I don't know when it was,
You said it
but
last night. But hear me.
they cannot detach from that intimate feeling that they have mother. So from birth, we as human, because what is more valuable? What connects us more? What connects us more if not attention? If not attention. When you're talking to your friend, you damn well want them to fucking pay attention to you. When you're talking to your spouse, you damn well want them to pay attention to you. When you're talking to your children, you damn well want them to pay attention to you. When you're talking to your boss, you want them to pay attention. When you're talking to your doctor, you want them to pay attention. Attention is the most valuable thing to a human being.
I
And
agree.
that is the thing that we are deprived of the most. When we go to the doctor don't listen. When we talk to our boss, the boss don't listen. We talk to our kids don't listen. We talk to our parents don't listen. We talk to our friends don't listen. So we're
Now,
all deprived of attention, which is why most of us will bend over backward to get it.
what I was trying to get is, I know you said that what I'm saying is not the same, but maybe if it's not the same, it's definitely a thin line.
Oh yeah, I've always said that. It's always
The
a thin
attention, the
line.
attention, the
Always a thin
attention
line.
that sometimes maybe the person does get all the attention that they need from their doctor, their friends, and their family members, but they want fame. They
Fame is
come,
what though? What is fame? That's the ultimate attention. What do you mean? Fame is the ultimate attention.
and I think again,
Fame is the
some
ultimate
people,
attention. That means everybody worldwide is
just
paying
like somebody's,
attention to you.
just like somebody is chasing after just like some people have been chasing after. Let's say I make six figures, but then I want to make six more figures. There are some people that's like, okay, I got this many followers. I want to get this many more followers. What I'm saying is, to piggyback off of you, the attention thing that I agree, mate, that is the most valuable thing, one of the most valuable things. In fact, it will really fall into what Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What you're saying is like a
Yeah.
his
It
rendition
is the most
rendition.
valuable. It is the most because if nobody's paying attention to you, then you're invisible. So it doesn't matter what the fuck you say. It don't matter what the fuck you do. If nobody's paying attention, don't nobody see it. Don't nobody care about it. Ain't nobody in tune to it. But if you have attention, if you have attention, if you have fame, that means people are watching you. People are paying attention. People are seeing you. People are hearing you. So it is the ultimate. It is the most. That's why fame is more valuable than money.
Mm,
That's
to
why
some people.
power. That's why power is more valuable than money. Because a broke ass white man can be more powerful than a rich ass black man. Now tell me I'm wrong.
Some
Because if we really think about it, he ain't got as much money as we think he do.
no, this is
That motherfucker done filed for bankruptcy what 11 times.
well, a rich person filing for
So money
bankruptcy is
money is not what is powerful. It's the position that you sit in to say what has value and what doesn't. Like I said earlier, if white men decided today that the dollar ain't got no fucking value, we gonna go back to barter. That's what the fuck we gonna do. Because he's the one in power to say what's valuable and what's not.
I think we're
Money
doing it
ain't nothing
now.
but a piece of paper. It ain't nothing but a piece of paper. You could take a sheet of wide rule paper and make that currency if you were white. If
You
you were
know the
white and
bricks.
you sat in a position to do that,
You know the bricks. Well, you know what bricks is or what's going on with the bricks, right?
yeah,
How Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are taking their currency and equating it to the gold standard and all that other shit, and they're trying to take America out of the equation. And some people are shook about that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but to me, it's the whole Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and to me, my thing is going back to what I was saying earlier. Attention, whether it's through certifications and all other shit. Just for some people, not being for me, I can exploit not having a lot of attention on me. I understand that there's power. There is just like having attention is powerful. Not having attention can be powerful in reverse. Now you can manipulate things from behind the scenes since nobody notices you. Like Emperor Palpatine, if you're a Star Wars fan.
You would still have attention though, because how would you have the power to wield that? If nobody was paying attention to you, then you wouldn't be able to do anything. So the attention might not be public, but it's still there. It's still there.
There's
And
what I'm
that's the
saying is
thing. That's the thing. Attention, and that's why I say attention is the most. It ain't got nothing. Fame is a different type of attention. Fame is televised. Fame is televised. But attention is in your everyday demeanor. When you're talking to your friend about what you went through at work, you want them to fucking listen to you. You want them to pay attention.
mm,
You want them to pay attention. When you're telling your friend about your spouse, when you need spousal advice, you want them to pay. When you go to your fucking therapist to talk about your problems, you want them to pay attention. When you're talking to your doctor about the medical issues that you have, you want them to pay attention. Because if they're not paying attention, then they don't know what the fuck is going on. They're not hearing you. They're not seeing you. They're not feeling you. Attention is the most valuable thing that we have or we could give as human beings. And the fact that we deprive each other of it is why we're so desperate to get it, because there is nothing more powerful than the human connection. Because what it ain't like we going I mean, some of us get pets. Some of us are
we-
okay with pets, but the majority of us are not okay with just having a pet in our life. We
would you
need
say
another
that
human being. We need another human being that is able to converse with us, that is able to go back and forth with us, that is able to give us the same amount of attention that we give them. And when that doesn't happen, that causes a lot of fucking drama. The majority of arguments in a marriage is because one is not paying attention to the other. One is not hearing the other. The communication is off. If the communication is off, then that means the attention is off.
would you say that some people can disconnect from attention? Like maybe I've gotten enough attention in my life, or maybe I realized that there's to me. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I agree with it, but to pick it back off of it and to counter it in terms of subjective scenarios, some people can manipulate the fact that they don't get enough attention, and they can live in solitude, a hermit, if you will.
Yeah, there's an exception to every rule.
Yeah,
So every human being is not gonna, I truly believe in that. I think that all people are bisexual. I do. That's my opinion. I do. I think all people are bisexual. But of course, that comes with the exceptions to every rule. Some people might be completely fucking straight, but I believe that the majority of us are or at least bisexual, at the least bisexual. That's my opinion. But with the way that the world works and the spectrums that we live on, I'm inclined to believe that most of us are fluid in our sexuality, and most of us want attention. Because that what else is there between human beings? What else is there? What else is there besides attention? And that may come in the form of, some people's love language is touch. Some people's love language is writing. But at some point, we all want some type of attention. Even those that don't like humans, they go get a pet. They go get a pet because that pet still pays them attention, and they pay that pet attention. At
Yep.
the end of the day, nobody. I don't think there is a large group of people that want to be alone, that want to be without attention. Everybody wants attention in some form or fashion to some degree.
Problem
I
is,
don't care
West.
what you say.
Oh yeah, I agree. But here's the flip side. We want attention, but we want to be hyper individuals. We want people to pay attention, but we want to pick and
We've
choose.
been taught to be hyper individuals
Reciprocate.
because before colonization, we weren't like that. We lived in tribes, which tribes are no different than neighborhoods, communities. It's really no different. But in neighborhoods in neighborhoods and suburbs, we barely even talk to our neighbors. We barely even know our neighbors. But when we lived in quote unquote tribes, we gathered every night, and you can see this over all different cultures of color in the Native American community, in the Black community, in the Asian community. We all got together at the end of the night to give our village and our people attention, to love on each other, to celebrate with each other. We don't do that anymore. We barely even know our fucking neighbors. I'll be honest with you, I don't know now one of my fucking neighbors. And I've been here 2 years. I ain't never met now one of them. I think my
Yeah.
son just went to the neighbor's house for the first time today because we found a stray cat that had some kittens under our house, and he wanted the fucking cat. So he went over there and knocked on the door to see if he could look in their yard. That's the first time my son, and I don't want to be like that, but I mean, with me, there's so many different factors. Like, I wouldn't necessarily be like that if I didn't have the trauma that I've been going through. But um, as a as a whole, though, as a whole society, we barely even know our fucking neighbors.
Yep.
Hmm.
I mean, about 2 years ago, I was fucking full of. I
Good
was
night,
mad.
Flabby.
I was just mad. I
Good
was
night,
just
Flat.
mad. I was just mad at all types. I was just mad, and I think I came on this app subconsciously looking for reasons to be mad. And I think going back to talk about these content creators, they know that their audience feeds off of drama and just feeds off of looking for something to be mad about. I don't really
Yep.
see people coming on this app looking to be mad about every fucking thing or outraged about everything. We know that nothing is going to change in terms of negative shit anytime soon. But we can still find something positive. We can find positive, productive things to talk about.
That's
We can
not
find
the
productive
American way,
outlets.
though. That's not the American way, though. The
I mean,
American way is to focus and perpetuate the negative, which is why we have so many drama shows. We got soap operas and fucking
well,
dramas and all of this shit. Dramatic
it comes to a
movies,
point where,
horrific
well,
horror movies. This is why we have so much negative media.
there comes a point where, to me, just because the American way can be your own individual way of going about seeing things. So again, like
I kind of disagree with that. Your way can be
I'm,
whatever the fuck you want it to be,
but I'm
but the
still a,
American way
but
cannot. The
nationality
American way
wise,
is set in stone.
well, nationality speaking, we're all Americans. So now we have our own individual takes on things. We can develop our own
But we
individual take
don't
on
though,
things.
because if we did, we wouldn't have never integrated with white people. We wouldn't have never we would have never perpetuated their system. If we were really thinking on our own and trying to be our own and coming
But
into our own, we would have never integrated with white people.
Well,
We integrated specifically to obtain the American dream.
now what you're saying, because nationality speaking, you are American.
Exactly.
You're speaking, but you have your own take. Again, you as an American, now you've said what you've said, and you're going to stand by that, and I respect that, and I admire that. Even if I don't agree with everything, I respect it and admire it because you're not trying
Same
to
here.
force it.
Same
You're
here.
not
Yeah.
trying to force. You're not trying to. There's not this I'm more righter than you type of thing
Right.
that
I'll
I that
never
I
say that. I'll never say
that
that.
I've seen with other content creators. There's not this I'm more righter than you, but
Right.
but as an American saying what you're saying, you're already expressing your takes, and you've already expressed your views and the positive outlooks on things. So just because it's not general doesn't mean that it's not American. You have your own outlook now, and
I
sorry
can
for
agree with that. I
I'm
can agree
sorry
with
for
that.
I'm sorry for what you've been through, and I hope things get better. I mean, my mom. I should be a statistic speaking. I should be a statistic. I shouldn't be over
Me
here.
too.
My mom had me at 14, and she was already she was a Gen Xer raising a kid Gen Xer raising a kid. So even though I'm a millennial, I have more. I actually I actually kind of like mesh with Gen Xers, the whole latchkey kids, because I was a latchkey kid. I was the older sibling that had to make cereal and noodles for his siblings. In
Right.
fact, one of them slipped through the cracks. They didn't learn how to he didn't learn how to make eggs until a few years after he graduated from college. So
I got a sister like that. I got a sister like that that don't know how to do shit. But the rest of us do. The rest of us do. She was the baby though. She was the baby, and nobody fucking, then nobody make her do shit. But
no, but he's the no that I'm the oldest. This is the one born right after me. How does the second born just skip through that? Like, and then I
because they had you. You was the third parent. Like you were
no
the
no no
you
no
were the
no.
designated parent.
There's five of us. The second born is the only one that somehow didn't learn how to do it until recently.
Exactly.
So the other three, the brother and the other two sisters, can do all of this, but not him. Like, how did you do this? How did you how did you slip through this? Like, you're now learning how to make a cake.
Baby boomer. City Cat said I'm a baby boomer.
Listen,
I've
all
enjoyed
my girl,
enjoyed
I ain't gonna lie, all
this
my sisters and
conversation tonight
brothers,
though.
yeah, we all went to work. We all had chores, but it seemed like my chores were a little bit more grueling than for the girls. And
Um,
I didn't understand then, but I understand now why it should have been that way.
what was opposite in my household? The
Really?
boys got to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do, while the girls had to work like fucking slaves, particularly me. Okay?
So
Yeah.
they didn't
Yeah.
have any. So what? They didn't do their own laundry or anything
No.
like. They didn't wash the dish.
No. No. No.
Damn,
They didn't.
that's
They didn't even
some.
cut the grass, baby. I did. I did.
I cut the grass. I cut the
I did.
grass.
I
I
did.
sewed
And my
I
mama
shoveled
had
the
a riding
sidewalk.
lawnmower, and that
I
heifer
took
made
the
me use the
trash
pushing
out. I did the
lawnmower.
dishes.
And our
Time out.
front yard is as big as a fucking football field. So, yeah.
Time out. Time out.
Yeah.
So did the boys at least take out the trash?
I did.
That's
One reason
the
is
girls didn't
because
touch the
my
trash in my
brother.
house.
One reason I had to take out the trash is because my younger brother, so by the time my parents adopted me, all of my older siblings, which were my mother's biological kids, they were grown. Like, I think the youngest one was 17 when I was adopted. So he was off to college a year later. Well, I'm sorry, off to the military a year later. So the only boy in the house was my younger brother. And well, he set the trash can on fire like 3 times. So
Sound like a pyromaniac.
Well, he was, but my mama still shouldn't have done what the fuck she did to him. Because we were all the last four of us were foster kids,
Oh shit.
and their parents, their biological parents, were you know, back in the day. I don't like to say this word anymore, but they are classified as mentally retarded. So their parents were not, they were not like other people, and so they were all born with um, a type of mental instability. And my brother, I don't really know why he was in love with fire the way he was, but and I've told this story before. Like my brother he had set the yard on fire at one point, and twice he set the trash can on fire in the house. So my mom always made me tend to the trash after that. But that last time when he set the trash can on fire in the house, my mama hung him in the tree and beat him with a belt
Oh,
that she had set on fire. Like she dipped the belt in gasoline, dipped it in gasoline, had it soaked in gasoline, lit it on fire, and beat him till the flames went out while he was hanging in the tree.
Some demonic shit.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And to be honest with y'all, like for the past couple of days, so I've talked to my mom twice this weekend, and I haven't talked to her in like 3 years. And a lot of family secrets are coming out because of this TikTok stuff. Like, because my family has been watching the whole thing unfold with Closet Talk and I Speak 101. I mean, I Speak 1906, and
I
um,
just call them Highland. I don't know, but
like,
I just call them by their last names, a Highland, a McCormick, a Gentry.
well, yeah, I didn't serve with him, so I will not do that. I just feel like that's the type of respect I have for the people I served with. So fuck him. But my family has been watching what's going on TikTok, and they're not particularly happy because they're all scared that their secrets are going to come out. So the conversations that I've been having with my family members lately, like it's been triggering because like my mom really is like when I tell people my mom is the spawn of Satan, I'm not exaggerating. Like I'm so fucking serious. Like I have never met anyone as evil as my mother.
Sounds like she came from that. Sound like she came from the fact she was raised by family members that are like
Yeah.
sharecroppers and former
Her her
slaves.
her
That's
mother
the
was
that's
her mother was a slave. So
yeah, and that's the shit, and that's the and because that's how it was in Florida too. Like you hear those are the same stories in Florida, and I think it's dying. I think it's some. I think it's kind of dying out in some ways, but it's leaving other wounds and all that other shit. Like
it
the whole,
because
like I know,
because
like there's
generational
like
we're combating generational trauma a lot better than we were before. But the thing of it is that parenting doesn't come with a handbook.
no,
So even though we are, countering some of the generational trauma that we went through in our generation, some sometimes, and this is honestly inevitable because we don't have a handbook.
we
We're
don't.
gonna cause trauma for our children. We are, but
I
we can
mean,
minimize that trauma by learning from the generation before.
I think to piggyback off of the not having a handbook thing, a lot of the parents, a lot of people who have kids, especially in the black community, not knowing the whole not having figured out the whole providing aspect of it. And that right there, to me, that's one of the first things that should be taken care of before you know, if there was a handbook, make sure you are exceedingly stable when it comes to the providing aspect, because I think a lot of times the frustrations and the beatings that we went through were in part due to parents constantly coming home knowing, feeling like failures because they're struggling to make
Yep.
ends meet.
Yep. Yep. I've talked about that before. I've talked about how, because for one, uh, we don't, as a society, we tend to take our frustrations out on the people closest to us. So in that sense, when you got a job, when you have a job and this is your only means of income, and you can't tell that boss exactly how you feel, you can't tell that boss, fuck you, eat my ass, fucking jump off a cliff, you dirty motherfucker. What do? You bottle that up until you get home. Then when you get home, you're frustrated. You don't really want to deal with your kids, so you're fucking short with your kids. You don't really want to deal with your wife or your husband, so you're short with your spouse. You take your frustrations out on those closest to you because you know more than likely they will take it without consequence, right? There's no consequences for taking your frustration and anger out on them, because you can't do it to your boss or you're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your job if you tell your boss how you really feel. So you come home and you tell your wife and your kids, and maybe not even tell them. You maybe just express it through your energy. You know, they trying to talk to you. You don't want to be bothered because you're so frustrated from work. So any little thing your child or your spouse does is annoying. It's aggravating. It's agitating because you just came from kissing ass for fucking 8, 12, 16 hours a day. So you come home and you take it out on the people closest to you.
And then you get scenes like in that movie Fences. How come you never like me? And it's like, what law says I have to like you? I just got to provide for you. And
Right.
we had those parents that take the whole, well, I come to job, I do what they tell me to do at the job. Then if parenting is also a job, I do what I need to do, which is put food on the table, clothes on their back, and a roof over their head, and that's it. They can leave me alone.
But what people forget about parenting is that it requires a lot of attention, which is something we don't have time to do because most of us are working to provide for our children. And that's why I said a long time ago, what is the American dream really? You work 40, 50, 60 hours a week to not even know your kids. We do this. We say, oh, I'm doing this to make my kids' life better. I'm doing this so my kids can have better in life. I'm doing this so my kids can have a great life. But by the time you actually make it to the point where your kids can have a great life, they grown already. They fucking grown as fuck.
Yeah.
All that work you did throughout their childhood to make their life better, they're no longer a child to even receive those fucking benefits. Now it's time for them to go work for their motherfucking kids or for their fucking life. So by the time you achieve that fucking status of making life easier for your child is no longer a fucking child. And you don't know them and they don't know you. Why? Because your ass been at work all this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then during that work, we're regretting not putting ourselves in a position to do this before the kid was born.
But you,
Not
well,
having, yeah.
okay, hold on. But pause. Think about that. Think about that. Do you know how risky it is for a woman to have a baby in her 30s, let alone her 40s and her 50s? We start being able to make a child, and this might, like, y'all bear with me. We start being able to make a child at 12, 13 years old. By the time we're 30, it's already a risk for us to have a child. It's already more like double the risk for us to have a child at 30. At 30, we're already geriatric. As a geriatric pregnancy. So by the time we 18, 19 years old, by the time we graduate high school, a lot of us are having our kids then. Because when else the fuck we gonna have them? when we get our careers together, but most of us don't even find ourselves to our 30s and 40s. So what women supposed to do? Wait till they 30 and 40 years old to have kids where they could possibly there's a higher risk of them dying on the fucking table having that kid? Then what? Then you wait till your fucking 40s to have a fucking child that you can't even fucking you can't you're dead. You're
Okay,
dead.
but what do you say? Okay, so here's my question: what do you say for the men who also have to work and be able to be stable providers, and they don't really start getting into their peak earning potential until they're in their 30s and 40s?
It's all fucked up. It's all fucked up because
Because let's say,
I don't. First of all, me personally, what are we working for? Like that's my question. What the fuck are we actually working for? Because honestly, everything we need is provided by this earth. Which one of us has the power to say who doesn't deserve what? We're all born into the same world. Ain't now one of us signed no contract that I was gonna fucking slave my ass off to the day I fucking die. So everything that comes out of that soil belongs to us, not just you, bitch. It belongs to us. So why the fuck are we working in the first goddamn place? Tell me that. Tell me that. Why the fuck are we working in the first goddamn place?
because somebody with some type of power and infrastructure decided that they could claim ownership over
Exactly, but we
parts of
weren't
the
doing
earth.
that before they came along. We weren't doing that before they. That's why we lived in villages. That's why we had tribes. Because everybody was taking care of everybody. Did nobody have to go out there and motherfucking work to take care of nobody? I mean, not in the sense of workforce like we have it today. Like, of course, we had to go out there and hunt, tend the garden and shit, but we all did that together on our own lands where nobody paying nobody to do this shit. We were doing it because that's what the fuck is supposed to be done. We are supposed to take care of one another. The fuck, animals ain't started working. When the fuck you seen a lion go clock in at a motherfucking job? Never. When you
But that
seen a
line
fucking
doesn't.
orangutan go clock in at a fucking job?
But they
Never.
don't.
Because
But
they
they don't speak
understand that they
either.
have to, hold on. No. No, we can't say what they don't speak because we don't know their fucking language. We don't know what the fuck they speak. We don't know their language. We don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Now I will tell you
We
this.
know
I
they
will say
hold
this.
on, but we know they understand us. We know that fucking much. We know they know enough to understand us. So why the fuck they ain't went out there and created a goddamn workforce? Because they understand that the way this cycle works is all of us have to work together. There is a circle of life. Everybody has a motherfucking designated area that they're supposed, but ain't nobody supposed to be out here working for no fucking paper dollar. Nobody's supposed to be doing that. Nobody. Ain't nobody supposed to be doing that. What contract did you sign when you slid out your mama coochie to say I'm gonna work till my fucking bones fall apart? Nobody signed that fucking contract. Who the fuck said what comes of this earth belongs to a specific person? White men. White men. Because before that, we were nomadic. All peoples were nomadic. We were traveling all around, nurturing every fucking place that we went. The people, the land, the water, the air, we were giving back to the earth as the earth was giving back to us. So what the fuck is work? Really? What the fuck is a paper dollar? Really? What the fuck is materialistic shit? Because
The way
honestly,
people
we don't need
society.
half of the shit. We do not need half of the shit that we indulge in right now. We indulge in it because we want to, because it's there. It's there.
There's some truth to that. Like, but now you have this whole everybody's fighting to get to the top. Everybody wants to be the next ruler. Everybody wants to rule.
Because we're
And
all deprived of our necessities. That's why. That's why everybody wants to be at the top because we're all deprived of our God. Well, I ain't gonna say our. Well, I don't believe it. When I say God-given rights, please know that I'm not
you
talking
said
about
creator earlier.
Christianity.
I
Yes,
know what you mean.
our Creator-given rights. We were all given the same fucking rights, but because some of us are deprived of them. Of course, we want to shoot up there to the top because that's where everything is. That's when we ain't gotta ask nobody, can we have? Because we are the haves. While the have-nots sit down there with absolutely fucking nothing, when all of this belongs to us.
Well,
Us.
animals have nots, and they learn to, and they understand that. And I was
They
gonna
have a
say,
cycle. That's what that is. They have a
and I was
cycle.
gonna,
Ain't no fucking animals out here fucking serial killing. Ain't
as
no
I was gonna
animals
say,
out here fucking serial killing.
killing for the sake of, I don't know. Sometimes, poisonous snakes kill if you move wrong,
Kill
and
what? What do they
they kill
kill?
anybody that steps to them, even anybody that gets close to them. And there's a lot of times it's
Exactly.
unintentional.
That's the defense mechanism. Because what? We have a history of what? Overpowering animals. So why wouldn't they
They
feel
do
like
it.
a
They
human
do it.
is fucking? Why wouldn't they feel like a human is dangerous?
Well, they feel like other animals are dangerous too, and other
Of
animals know to
course.
stay away from
Of
them.
course. That is defense. That's defense. That is the circle of life. But ain't no animals out here killing just for the fun of it. They ain't going out here seeking, like, let me go over here and seek these motherfucking cow and fucking kill them for no reason. Ain't no animals doing that. I mean, if there are, show me the studies. Cause I ain't seen it. All the animal documentaries I watch, they're killing for a specific reason, either to eat or for protection, defense. That's it. That's it. Ain't no fucking animals out here fucking killing animals just to be fucking killing. We go out here like here's the fucked up thing, right? White people will sit up here and tell us that killing is fucking wrong, while they sit up here and they fucking kill animals for sport. For sport, not to eat them, but to hang them on their fucking wall.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I will say that I don't even think tribesmen do that shit. Tribesmen didn't do it.
Exactly. They use every bit of the
There was a
animal.
thrill in the
They
there was
use
a
every
thrill
bit
in the
of the
sport.
animal.
While there was a thrill in the sport to hunting to eat,
Absolutely.
it was a
Absolutely.
recreation in it.
Yeah, absolutely. But there was also a reason behind it. We weren't just killing to hang a fucking head on a wall.
I would also,
We
as I
were
was trying to
killing to
say
eat,
earlier,
to clothe ourselves, to medicate ourselves. We killed for a reason, and that is the way of life. Everything has a value. Everything has a position. Everything has to live and die, and we nurture each other in that circle of life. But when we out here doing shit for no fucking reason, no rhyme or reason, we just doing it because we want to. That fucks up a lot of shit.
so as I was gonna say about the animals, they do gather together. Every predator and prey can gather together at like a water hole or whatever to drink water and disperse. I do notice that they are able to do that. Or if there was a tsunami, how you could tell if there was a tsunami coming when two
Yeah.
animals that are natural enemies are running side by side to get to higher ground. That's when you know something is fucked up about to happen.
Sound like black folks. Run, nigga. Don't ask no questions. Just run.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
subsistence.
love these conversations, y'all. But it's like
So
1:30 in the morning. About to go to bed.
I need to get some breakfast.
It's 140, but yeah.
40? Damn.
Yep,
Eight
it's
forty over.
140. I
Eight
enjoyed this
forty.
conversation though,
I
y'all. I
always
really
enjoy it
did.
because I learn. I learn a lot.
I really did. Thank you, Mugen. And did Sobe fall asleep on us again?
Probably.
No, I
Oh
didn't
no, he
today. I
didn't.
did the other night, but I didn't tonight. I was listening.
Yes, Sobe.
I
But
did.
yeah,
I woke
Anyway,
up
I
Go
before
ahead,
him.
give
enjoyed the
y'all last thoughts, and
conversation.
I'm going to go ahead and get myself up out of here. I got to get up in the morning.
My last thoughts, I love us and I enjoyed the conversation. So thank you for everybody that was here tonight.
Yes, and stuck through it with us. I
All right, all
appreciate y'all.
right.
All right, Mugen. All right.
All right,
All
y'all.
right, sis.
all
All
right.
right, so good night, everybody. See y'all
Good night.
tomorrow.
All right.
Well,